Splunk admin interview questions. 49. Explain how Splunk works. We can divide the working of Splunk into three main parts. Forwarder. You can see it as a dumb agent whose main task is to collect the data from various sources like remote machines and transfer it to the indexer. Indexer. The indexer processes the data in real time and stores and indexes it on the local host or cloud server. Search head. It allows the end user to interact with the data and perform various operations like searching, analyzing, and visualizing the information. 50. How to add the colors in Splunk UI based on the field names. Splunk UI has a number of features that allow the administrator to make the reports more presentable. One such feature that proves to be very useful for presenting distinguished results is the custom colors. For example, if the sales of a product drop below a threshold value, then as an administrator you can set the chart to display the values in red color. The administrator can also change chart colors in the Splunk Web UI by editing the panels from the panel settings mentioned above the dashboard. Moreover, you can write the codes and use hexadecimal values to choose a color from the palette. 51. How the data ages in Splunk. The data that is entering an indexer gets sorted into directories, which are also known as buckets. Over a period of time, these buckets roll over different stages, from hot to warm, cold to frozen, and finally thawed. The indexer goes through a pipeline where event processing takes place. It occurs in two stages. Parsing breaks them into individual events, while indexing takes these events into the pipeline for processing. Splunk admin. This is what happens to the data at each stage of the indexing pipeline. As soon as the data enter the pipeline, it goes to the hot bucket. There can be multiple hot buckets at any point in time, which you can both search and write to. If any problem like the Splunk getting restarted or the hot bucket has reached a certain threshold value/size, then a new bucket will be created in its place and the existing one's roll to become a warm bucket. These warm buckets are searchable, but you cannot write anything in them. Further, if the indexer reaches its maximum capacity, the warm bucket will be rolled to become a cold one. Splunk will automatically execute the process by selecting the oldest warm bucket from the pipeline. However, it doesn't rename the bucket. All the above buckets will be stored in the default location $Splunk home/var/lib/splunk/defaulted/db/*. After a certain period of time, the cold bucket rolls to become the frozen bucket. These buckets don't have the same location as the previous buckets and are non-searchable. These buckets can either be archived or deleted based on the priorities. You can't do anything if the bucket is deleted, but you can retrieve the frozen bucket if it's being archived. The process of retrieving an archived bucket is known as thawing. Once a bucket is thawed, it becomes searchable and stores into a new location. 1. $Splunk home/var/lib/splunk/defaulted/thawed/. 52. What are pivots and data models in Splunk? Data models in Splunk are used when you have to process huge amounts of unstructured data and create a hierarchical model without executing complex search queries on the data. Data models are widely used for creating sales reports, adding access levels, and creating a structure of authentication for various applications. Pivots, on the other hand, give you the flexibility to create multiple views and see the results as per the requirements. With pivots, even the managers of stakeholders from non-technical backgrounds can create views and get more details about their departments. 53. Explain workflow actions. This topic will be present in any set of Splunk interview questions and answers. Workflow actions in Splunk are referred to as highly configurable knowledge objects that enable you to interact with web resources and other fields. Splunk workflow actions can be used to create HTML links and use them to search field values, put HTTP post requests for specific URLs, and run secondary searches for selected events. 54. How many types of dashboards are available in Splunk? There are three types of dashboards available in Splunk. Real-time dashboards, dynamic form-based dashboards, dashboards for scheduled reports. 55. What are the types of alerts available in Splunk? Alerts are the actions generated by a saved search result after a certain period of time. Once an alert has occurred, subsequent actions like sending an email or a message will also be triggered. There are two types of alters available in Splunk, which are mentioned below. Types of alters available in Splunk. Real-time alerts. We can divide the real-time alerts into two parts, pre-result and rolling window alerts. The pre-result alert gets triggered with every search, while rolling window alerts are triggered when a specific criterion is met by the search. Scheduled alerts. As the name suggests, scheduled alerts can be initialized to trigger multiple alerts based on the set criteria. 56. Define the terms search factor and replication factor. Search factor. The search factor, SF, decides the number of searchable copies an indexer cluster can maintain of the data/bucket. For example, the search factor value of 3 shows that the cluster can maintain up to 3 copies of each bucket. Replication factor. The replication factor, RF, determines the number of users that can receive copies of your data/buckets. However, the search factor should not be greater than the replication factor. 57. How to start the Splunk service. The command for starting Splunk service, /Splunk start. The command for stopping Splunk service, /Splunk stop. 58. What is the use of a time zone property in Splunk? Time zone is an important property that helps you search for the events in case any fraud or security issue occurs. The default time zone will be taken from the browser settings or the machine you are using. Apart from event searching, it is also used in data pouring from multiple sources and aligns them based on different time zones. 59. What are the important search commands in Splunk? Below are some of the important search commands in Splunk. AirX, abstract, typer, rename, anomalies, fill down, accum, add totals. 60. How many types of search modes are there in Splunk? There are 3 types of search modes in Splunk. Fast mode speeds up your search result by limiting the types of data. Verbose mode, slower as compared to the fast mode, but returns the information for as many events as possible. Smart mode, it toggles between different modes and search behaviors to provide maximum results in the shortest period of time.